you please tell me what your biggest disappointment? Well, not only one actually, you will tell me 3 things.
3 of them?
3 disappointments. Big disappointments. Well, not big disappointment, but disappointment because today we are going to talk about how to deal with disappointments. Alert, it might be a serious video. It might be a serious video. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Toy. I'm Toy.
And I am Goy.
And welcome to Toy and Goy. And again, it's my... let's do it together inside. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So today, I'm going to warn you guys, it might going to be a very serious video. We're going to talk about disappointments. How to deal with disappointments. And I'm sure many of you in your life had to deal with some sort of disappointment.
Oh, my heart. That's usually what I do when I'm disappointed by something. My first thought is, my heart.
I'm doing not gay at all. Each one of us will share with you guys our 3 or 4, depends on how we feel like, 3 or 4 disappointments.
There's a reason.
There is a reason, because I had a massive disappointment just before the weekend. It wasn't him, it was me. I got disappointed. It made me feel, okay, in life we have so many disappointments. How do we deal with them?
How do we deal with them?
How do we deal with them?
How?
But before then, let's hear about your first disappointment.
I'm going to start with the earliest one that I remember, which is kind of funny. So, I'm not sure what year it was, but it was whenever the first national lottery happened in the UK. So, early 90s for sure.
It was the first national lottery in the early 90s?
Yeah. So, I wasn't very old. Let's say I was 5. I remember there being a big buzz around this thing where, you know, you could win loads and loads of money for doing nothing. So my parents bought a lottery ticket. I think it was one of the very few times they did. The first weeks, there was so much anticipation about this. And as a young child, I remember thinking, oh my God, we're going to win millions and millions and millions of pounds. How great will life be? And I started imagining what life was going to be like. And I remember, I think we bought it from Tesco in Newton Abbot, the ticket. And we were just like, oh, wow, this is going to be fantastic. And on the night, I remember getting down and watching it. Mum and Dad were there with the ticket, and they read the numbers out, and none of them matched. And my parents were like, "Oh, we didn't win." Threw the thing in the bin. And I remember sitting there in front of the television, being completely devastated that our life was not going to change in the way I thought it was going to change. And I have vividly remember how upset I was that this opportunity and we didn't win, because I was convinced we were going to win for some reason. I didn't understand.
That reminded me a disappointment that is not in the list at all. So, similar case to you, my dad didn't buy a lottery only once. He bought it, he was addicted to that. So every week he would have bought and gambling about football matches, etc.
Football, hey.
And I remember that he gave me every week he gave me 1 column to fill by myself, and that week he gave me 3 columns to fill.
It's a lot of responsibility.
And I was like very cheeky because I feel the 3 columns very similar to each other, and you needed to guess 15 right guesses.
Okay.
Cut story short, because I'm talking about it like the last 5 minutes. Results came.
Yeah.
The first column I got 12 out of 15. The second column I got 13 out of the 15, and the third one, sorry, first, second, and the third one was like 11 out of the 15. And I was like, oh my God, we are going to win so much money. And it's surely my dad needs to give me the money. Apparently on that week there were so many winners. So many winners, so the total amount of prize was really lit. And I was like, oh, I was so disappointed. I've never got anything similar to that.
I remember as a young child thinking, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was convinced we were going to win and we were going to have this amazing life. And I also didn't realise that it was going to happen every single week. So I thought that was it. That was our one chance gone.
Did you have to cancel the
limo
the
and the
yacht
helicopter? But that was the youngest. I remember being unbelievably crushed. And I wonder, and this made me think when I was thinking about this since, I wonder if that's where my dislike for gambling comes from. Because I don't do the lottery. I think anyone who does the lottery is a fool, especially if you do it every single week. All that money that you spend, because there's that tiny little chance you might earn it.
Okay, this is probably another material to talk about in a different video, but I don't think it's fair to call people that buy lottery fools, because what they do is they buy hope.
Yes.
They buy hope and they buy a slightly chance of them becoming richer. I don't think it's fair to call them fools. I apologize now.
I disagree. And if you do the lottery every week, tell us, what does it give you?
Yeah.
Because for me, I think gambling, even when you go and bet on, like when you bet on Eurovision, I feel there's something really wrong and dishonest. It's not an honest way to get money for yourself. It makes you feel uncomfortable. Second one, later in my life, when I was around 17 to be exact, I remember failing my driving test 3 times.
Ooh.
And yeah.
What was the reason?
So the first 2 were minor things.
Okay.
And then in my 3rd driving test, the examiner had to grab the wheel and push the car because apparently I was very close to a load of parked cars that was driving past, and for safety reasons he had to grab the wheel and alter the way I was driving. This happened about 5 minutes into my test, so I then had to do the rest of it knowing that I'd failed. However, not specifically that moment, but just in general, you're working towards that thing for months and months and months and putting money and time and effort, and you know that it's going to give you this amazing freedom. And then when they're like, oh no, sorry, you failed because you didn't do something minor, you're like, great. It's just horrible. That freedom has been taken away from you.
How did you pick yourself up from one test to another?
So the first and second times, I was like, okay, I just need more lessons. I need to practice more. Fine. After the third one, I went, sod this. I'm not doing it anymore. Give up.
So what made you go to the fourth?
Because I bought my first car then. Our neighbour was moving and they were selling their car really cheaply. So I bought that and then went out driving more often with my father.
I'm stealing all your ideas, but I have my own 3 here. So maybe we'll discuss it, because maybe things that I'll talk about suddenly will
Maybe I'll have the common decency to let you have your time.
But you know me, you know that I can't succeed without you.
Aww.
I failed once, and when I failed my first one, it was literally minute into the exam.
Oh.
So
did you run someone over?
No, almost. No, I didn't. But there was a red light, and it's so short traffic light, and I was driving behind a van or something, and the moment the van turned left, the traffic light went to amber and red, and I was about to brake, but the examiner just pressed the brakes by himself.
Oh no.
And the moment that happens, that's it, it's done.
It's over.
So I took it really, really hard, I remember, but it's like, I had to keep doing the exam, even though I know that after the first minute,
you've got to go through the motions of the rest of it, knowing that you've lost, you failed.
But this is a lesson. Because, and this is maybe one of the things how to deal with disappointment, is you need to keep going. So you had this disappointment period, but you have to keep doing what you're doing, even though that you got disappointment. So you have to somehow manage your emotions to the real world. And I think that's not a bad thing to do. We can talk about
let's do one of Toy's disappointments now.
Our kids, my ex and I kids, were born in India. To bring them to the UK, we had to go through through Israel first, and then apply for a visa from Israel to the UK. We had a visa, but the kids didn't have a visa. We waited like 6 weeks, and they were tiny, and they were really premature, tiny, small, and we lived in my ex-parents, and it was so uncomfortable, and all I wanted is to get back home. The moment I opened the envelope, I see your visa was refused. And I remember at that moment that everything in my life just crashed. It's just changed. Just, I don't know what to do. And we both didn't know what to do at that point. And with 2 little babies in a house that is not ours, not our safe place, that was a huge disappointment. I remember the first few months after this, I didn't know how to deal with it. And speaking of keep driving, keep going, it felt like the end of the world for me. That's how it felt.